It's been a hot minute since I last did a boy talk. There used to be a reoccurring thing on my channel and I feel like I've not done it in ages, but from the last one, which was about a year ago, I am wiser. I am more clued up on these men. A little bit, not at all, but I feel like I have a little bit more advice to give because I've been in different situations and situationships. So here we go. Hopefully I can help some of you out. If not, then maybe go and get a cup of tea, get your notepad, jot these notes down because maybe I'll be able to help you. So hey guys, what's good? I hope you're all doing well. I am really excited to be filming this today. Like I said, I used to do boy talks a lot on my channel and I feel like it kind of brings us closer because I feel like I'm just having a full best friend girl talk with you all, and that is what I want on my channel. The one thing I've always said with my YouTube channel is that I want to be your friend. I want you to view me like a best friend or a big sister or your favorite cousin. So I thought I would do a little boy talk today, just a little one. I did get quite a few dilemmas on Instagram, not just related to boys but kind of like lifestyle ones or like friendship ones, but I'm just gonna stick to kind of boys today, or like not boys, we'll say relationships. We'll stick to relationships today and then I'll go on to other subjects on another day. But yeah, today is just gonna be all about them boys. I feel like we should cue like a song, but I'm not going to. I get copyrighted on everything. So I did get quite a lot, and one thing that I did notice with the boy talk dilemmas is there's so many of you going through the same thing, and I find that really comforting because a lot of the problems I've been through and a lot of them you guys were kind of sending me really similar situations, and I just wanted to say we all go through the same thing. Like if you're feeling really shit or like really down about something, just know that there's probably a million other girls going through the same thing, or like a million other people feeling how you feel. So I just thought I would start off with that. Don't feel on your own. We've all been there, and just, you know, boys can be trash, but not all of them are. Just most of them. I'm joking. Okay, so I'm going to start off on this one. I feel very strongly about this. How to get over a guy you never dated but caught the feels for. Help me out, love. I think, right, so a situationship, that's what we're going to call this. It's not a relationship, it's a situationship. That could be, a situationship could last 2 years, it could last 2 weeks, it could last 20 years. Just because you haven't put a label on something, it doesn't make your emotions any less valid, if that makes sense. So even if you've not been boyfriend and girlfriend, you can still catch major feels. You can still be in love with a person and not put a label on it. So I get what you're saying with like how to get over it, which I will move on to. But I just want to say, girl, coming from the big sis, I don't want you to ever feel like your feelings don't matter because you were never actually together, because I've been in a situationship where we never actually put a label on it, but we was basically boyfriend and girlfriend. We was together all the time, we was inseparable for about a year, and I think just because we didn't put a label on it, when we did eventually go our separate ways doesn't mean it hurt any less than a full breakup, if that makes sense. So I just wanted to say, if anyone is feeling like they shouldn't be feeling sad or they shouldn't be feeling how they do if you kind of go your separate ways with the person you like or love, then your feelings are not any less valid than someone who's together, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. But anyway, how to get over someone. So we've all been there, and if you've not, then I am very jealous. But I think the best thing to do, which is, I think it does depend on your circumstance. So I would say out of sight, out of mind is the best thing, and I've learned that recently. If you don't look at their social media, if you don't keep on watching what they're doing or whatever, you just kind of eventually fizzle it out in your own head. So I would say the best thing to do is block them, and I know that's really difficult, but get your friend round and just have a day where you're going to be like, I am blocking you today, you're out of my life. And this sounds ridiculous, but I kind of used to set myself like challenges. So every day, when every day went by where I wasn't checking their social media, I was like, yes, that's another day under my belt. Do you know what I mean? Because it's never going to make you feel good, especially if you see them with someone new. That's never going to make you feel good. And I think that is the best thing I could advise. Out of sight, out of mind. Obviously with Patrick, it was a little bit of a different situation, because I would say the last maybe year and a half of our relationship, we were just friends. Like, I wouldn't say we were in a relationship, we was just friends but together, if that makes sense. So when we broke up, it wasn't a nasty breakup, it wasn't bitter. We could stay friends because we'd basically been friends through our relationship, and we was both on the same wavelength and stuff. So yeah, I'd say the best thing to start kind of getting over someone is out of sight, out of mind. Just get rid, just delete the text messages, delete the pictures, they're gone. And another question I got, which we'll transition into this question, or like this dilemma. So someone asked me how to kind of get over the fact that, so if you're with someone maybe 6 months, a year, 5 years, and you've broke up, how to get over the feeling of you've just wasted time. And I think every relationship and everyone you meet, I fully believe this with all my heart, I feel like everyone you meet and every relationship is there for a reason. I'm getting quite spiritual. I'm reading some spiritual books. I've been to some spiritual healers, and the one thing that they've all consistently said to me is everything happens for a reason. That reason might not make sense at the time, but afterwards makes a bunch of sense. My last kind of relationship, I came out of it and I was like, I wish I never met him, blah blah blah. And now that I'm over it and kind of moving on and stuff, I realized what a big impact he had on my life, and I'm so grateful for that. He taught me so much. He taught me about business, he taught me about how to love myself, he taught me my worth, and for that I will be forever grateful. So maybe if you're feeling like you've not really gained anything, trust me, one day you will. I feel like you do meet everyone for a reason. Even like if you have a little conversation with someone on the tube or like whatever, I feel like you meet these people for a reason. The weirdest thing has happened to me recently, and I'm going to do a little story time on it, but I met this woman and had probably a 5-minute conversation with her, and that 5-minute conversation almost saved my life. So that's all I'm going to say. I will do a story time on it, but yeah. I keep going back to the same toxic boy, help. I think you need to think about, I think you need to think what this boy is bringing into your life, because this is your life. You only get one of these. So you need to think, is he benefiting you in any way? And if he is benefiting you, is it just like the feelings benefit because you like him being around? But think about, does he elevate you? Does he make you feel good most of the time? Because these toxic boys, they know how to play it. I feel like when you're together it's amazing, and when you're apart and he's being an arsehole, you feel the shittest you've ever felt. So I think you just need to think about what this boy is bringing into your life and what he's doing for you, because you are your #1 priority, or you should be your #1 priority. And if anyone is bringing, like you said, toxic energy into your life, get rid. I always view it as in, like, if you are your own best friend, or say you have a best friend, would you want your best friend to keep going back to the same toxic person? Of course you're not going to. And you should be your very, very best friend. So if you're going back to the same toxic boy, you're doing your best friend a disservice. Does that make sense? I hope it does. See, I feel like I'm quite wise at the minute. I feel like these answers are great. If they're not, I'm sorry, but I feel like, I don't know, I've been to a life coach, and she has honestly taught me so much. I feel like if you ever feel like you need to talk to someone or need help, go and get it. Like, go and get it from a counsellor, from a therapist, from a life coach. My life coach has honestly changed my life. I will talk a little bit more about that in a different video, because obviously we're talking about boys in this one, but seeing that life coach has changed my perspective on life in so many ways. I've been dating my boyfriend for 3 years and I feel like he's getting bored. How do I spice it up? I think the best thing to do is like little dates and kind of don't get ready together. I feel like I've always said that in a relationship, when I do date night, unless we're staying in a hotel and it's a little bit difficult, if we're doing date night from home, or if you live together, then get ready in separate rooms, and if you don't, then get ready at your own homes and meet up like you're meeting on a first date. I think if you kind of get ready together, I don't know, it doesn't feel the same as coming out and being like, boom, date night ready, see ya. View it as like you're going on first dates again. It just, I don't know, it gives you a really nice little feeling. But definitely dates, date night is a must. I've always said when I'm in a relationship, we're doing date night at least once a week. I think when you're in a routine, which is very normal for a relationship, well, some relationships, when you're in a routine it can get a little bit boring. So maybe just do something that is out of the routine, that's a little bit different maybe, or maybe spice up the sex life. You know, you could have that little conversation of like, okay, what have you always wanted to do, blah blah blah. That's always something you could try. And yeah, it is completely normal to feel more comfortable in this period. I mean, you've been together 3 years and that's amazing. That is amazing to put up with a boy for 3 years, because I couldn't. I'm joking, but no, it's amazing that you've come this far and you obviously clearly love each other. But I do understand the kind of spicing it up bit, but the best advice I could do is just step out of your normal routine if you do have one. Okay, I'm 19 and still a virgin. Is that bad or embarrassing? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I am the biggest preacher of that. I think that's so attractive, and I think that makes you really, really different, which I think is a lovely quality to have. If you've had sex or not, it doesn't change who you are as a person, so no, that is 100% not embarrassing, and I'm pretty sure the guy you end up with will really appreciate that. But no, that's not embarrassing in the slightest. I think that's such a lovely thing that you've kind of waited for someone, or waited it out until you found someone special. That is actually a really special quality, because I think there's so many pressures as a young person to sleep with people and have sex and do all these things. So the fact that you've not succumbed to that pressure, I think is a really, really lovely quality. So I would be proud of that over embarrassed. I would be proud. Can long distance relationships work? I 100% think they can. I think when you've both got your own shit going on and you know, you're working or whatever, and then when you come together it's just amazing. That is the best thing in the whole world. They can be difficult, don't get me wrong, but now we have FaceTime, we can call each other, and like I said, when you do eventually get together again, that time is so precious and it means so much and you have the best time. Love is stronger than any distance, I think. So I think if you do see this going somewhere, if you don't really see it going somewhere, that's another thing I would suggest. If you have thought about it and you're like, oh, I really don't know whether this is going somewhere, then maybe it's time to kind of think about your options. Because if you say you're in different countries and he doesn't want to move to you, you don't want to move to him, then that's when you start thinking about where this is going. Whereas if he's away for uni, or if you're a couple of cities apart, like a couple of hours apart, or even if you're in different countries but you're eventually gonna kind of live together, that's when I would say it's so worth sticking out if you're in love with that person, because you'll always think, what if? From my experience, I can only give from my experience. From my experience, I think if you can see it going somewhere, then distance should never be a problem. It's just a test, I guess, and it will only make you stronger in the end. The boy I used to talk to is now cheating on his new girlfriend. Should I tell her? I'm really conflicted about this, because on the one hand, I want to be a girl's girl and tell the girl and be like, babes, your man is doing you dirty. But on the other hand, mind your business. Like, which one do you do? It is a really difficult situation. I think so he's the guy you used to speak to, he's now got a girlfriend, and you found out that he's cheating on his new girlfriend. In that situation, there's no right or wrong answer, but what I would do is stay out of it, because if he was talking to you, then that's a different situation. But if you found out that he's maybe talking to other girls or slept with other girls or whatever, you're not involved in that situation, and it's only going to ever make you look like the psycho, if that makes sense, because you're still getting involved with someone that you used to speak to. So if that was me, I don't know whether this is the right thing or not, but I would just take a massive step back. That's their business. She'll probably find out one day, because the one thing my mum always taught me, and I have learned from this in my life, is the truth will always come out. So she'll probably find out one day, but if you're not involved in that situation, I would just step out of it, because imagine if you tell him and then the girlfriend ends up staying with him, you're just going to feel like a mug and you're just going to look silly. So I would stay out of it. But if it's involving you and you know he has a girlfriend and he's messaging you, that's when I would be more likely to message the girl and be like, listen, your man's in my DMs, or your man tried to sleep with me the other night. Do you know what I mean? That's my advice. I watched Holly and Ari's mukbang the other day. I love them too, but they was talking about when Holly went to LA and there was a guy in the club that tried it on with her. They later found out he had a girlfriend, and that's when they messaged the girl, and the girl's always really appreciative. If she's not, then she's just as crazy as him. But I think in them situations where you're actually involved in it, that's when I would step up and say something. But if you're not involved, stay uninvolved. You don't want that kind of drama in your life. This one actually broke my heart a little bit, because I get this so much. I care about my boyfriend's emotions too much to end the relationship, but I'm not in love. That is one of the worst feelings ever, because I feel like you love them, but you're not in love with them, and that is honestly so horrible. Because when you love someone, if you're like me anyway, you want to put their feelings first. Like, I rarely put myself first with my family or my friends or relationships. That is something that I'm changing this year. I'm going in with a different mindset, but I have been in that situation where I've just not been in love with this person anymore, and it's so hard. But you've just got to think, are you going to make yourself miserable forever? And think about 40 years from now, are you still going to be miserable? You don't want to live your life miserable. It's going to be the worst thing ever trying to tell him that you don't want to be with him anymore. But for you, and not even just for you, but for him, because if you're miserable, then it's going to make him miserable eventually. So you're doing it for him as well, and it's going to be really difficult at the start, but it honestly does get easier, and hopefully in time you can eventually be friends, because there's no bitterness there, there's nothing bad happened, you've just fallen out of love, which is very normal. So I would definitely try and end the relationship, which is so much easier said than done, I know, but honestly you don't want to make either of you miserable. And if you stay in a relationship where you're not happy, then that is going to end up being the case. Maybe you break up and then realise that you're meant for each other, or maybe you break up and realise it's the best thing that ever happened to you. So I would definitely have that conversation with him and just say, I love you, but I'm not. Actually, how would you have that conversation? That is really difficult. I'm going to be honest, I have been in a very similar situation, and I was a little bit of a pussy. I didn't want to say it because I hate hurting people's feelings, and I was kind of waiting for the other person to mess up so that I had an excuse to go. And yeah, that was a self-destructive path. And again, another thing that you learn from. Oh wow, I have some funny, I've done a first dates video before, but trust me, I've been single for a while now, and I've got some funny stories. Let me know if you want to see more kind of dilemma slash agony and advice videos, because I do like sitting here like a little agony aunt, like a little best friend with my cup of tea, kind of answering all your dilemmas. So if you want to see more, not even just involving men or relationships, but life ones, friendship ones, family ones, whatever you want, let me know. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a massive thumbs up, and if you're new here, please make sure you subscribe as well. I would be forever grateful. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next video. Mwah.